Alright, we should be live. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 10 of DGweekly Live here. As you can tell, we're going to be talking about the Dynamic Discs Trespass. This is the very first distance driver that Dynamic Discs ever came out with. It is one of the original discs that Dynamic Discs came out with. One of the OG discs, if you want to call it that. It's the first distance driver, still one of the longest flying distance drivers. That's what really surprised me about this thing. Really quick, before we do get into this, we are going to be giving away this orange Lucid Trespass. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, if you're interested in free discs, then we are going to have this orange Lucid Trespass as a giveaway. This is the one that I've used in the clips that you'll see later. So be sure to like this video, share this video, and then leave a question down in the chat. And that's how we're going to go ahead and get you entered into the contest, get the winner selected, and then I will reach out to that person for their address. So be sure to like the stream, share the stream. Looks like we have a question in studio.
I think you got the wrong audio.
I have the wrong audio?
Yeah.
It says that I have the main one up. Are you not mic'd up? Let me make sure everything's on. It says it's on.
Let's do a switch. Maybe we were wrong.
Onto this one?
Yeah.
Let me know if this sounds better. Sound is low. Audio is coming from the camera. Let me know if this sounds right. Ryan, I saw you said you wanted me to dance earlier. That's not going to happen. That sounds better now?
Sounds better to me.
Okay. I'm going to wait for the chat to confirm, but we're getting in-studio reports that this sounds better. Joel says yes. Everyone else say, yeah, this is better. Is this the right one? Much better? Okay. Well then, we'll just go ahead and start that all over and pretend that didn't even happen. So, this is obviously going to be the Trespass. If you didn't hear it the first time or if you're just joining us, we are going to be giving away this orange Lucid Trespass as well. So to enter into that giveaway, all you have to do is like the stream, share the stream, and then down in the chat, leave a question for me to answer about the Trespass or what it might be similar to, what plastics it's in, anything like that. And as I was saying earlier, before you couldn't quite hear me, the Trespass is not only one of the first discs that Dynamic Discs came out with, it's the first distance driver. And when I was out throwing it for this video, I was really surprised. I used to think that the Sheriff was far and away the longest flying disc in our lineup, and I still think it's the longest flying disc, but this Trespass is super, super close. I didn't realize that it had as much glide as it did. I feel like it's not quite as fast as the Sheriff, but it glides and it holds straight for a very, very long time. I didn't remember that. I used to throw it when it first came out, but ever since then I've kind of tailed away and I've gone to Defenders and Enforcers and kind of beat those up to things that start more overstable and then beat up to a little bit straighter. But this Trespass is a super, super good disc. Super, super good. So that surprised me a lot, just how far it goes for being that kind of a 12 speed. So not the fastest, still very, very fast, but the Sheriff I believe is a 13 speed, so a little bit faster. So I think the Trespass is most similar to the Sheriff in our lineup. I think the Sheriff flies a little bit farther, and I think the Trespass is a little bit more forgiving on the release angle, where I feel like the Sheriff, if you're off just a little bit, it's going to exaggerate that, where the Trespass has the stability to kind of correct that for you, if you will. If you don't have quite the arm speed for something like an Enforcer, I think this is going to be really good for those people who throw like 300 to like say 350 and just don't quite have that control that the top level pros do. And don't quite have the arm speed for things like the Defender and the Enforcer. Make more grapefruit sparkle, Jared? I don't know if this counts as grapefruit here. It's not quite sparkle, but it's kind of I mean, you could call that grapefruit-y-ish. I would call it more like, if we're going with food, like strawberries and cream, I would say. A little bit of red, a little bit of white burst action to it. So as far as plastics on the Trespass, as you can see, we have these burst fusion Trespasses. Absolutely gorgeous. I feel like the Trespass in the fusion plastic is a little bit more on the understable side than something like the Lucid Trespass. I think these are the perfect Trespass, personally. I haven't thrown the Lucid X. I've heard those are the most overstable. But these Lucid Trespasses are very, very nice. Just a long, straight flying disc for sure. Also in the Lucid, you do have a little bit of a MyDi to it. Let's get a close-up on that. Kind of a yin-yang looking symbol there. And then there are also some American flag dyed MyDis. And last but certainly not least, we also have Moonshine Trespasses. There are also things like Biofusion Trespass, but we are unfortunately out of stock on those right now. And that is also going to be on the fairly understable side for the Trespass. If you are looking to pick up a Trespass for yourself, we are running a coupon code, and that is going to be Trespass 10. Trespass, and then the number 10, as you can see right here. And that is live. Usually we used to do these for 24 hours. It used to run until tomorrow night. But this is actually going to be running until Tuesday night at midnight Central Time. So it's going to be good until August 14th, the day before we come back next week. So you have plenty of time for this to get your order in, to save that 10% using the coupon code Trespass10. Let's head over to, I have some clips ready for you guys. Let's head over to those so you can see how this thing actually flies for me. I was out throwing it the other day, getting some really nice shots, not even having to throw it super, super hard, and was getting really, really good distance. So let's go check those out, and I think you'll be able to hear me. So this first one here is kind of a flat shot and just kind of holds to the right. A little bit of a low ceiling there, and you can really see the glide showing off there on the Trespass. Not super stable, but it did kind of fight out at the end. Here on a much stronger hyzer release with a little bit more power, you can see it stood up flat, and it went straight, but it still had that good stability at the end. It was definitely still stable to overstable enough to handle that power and still fight out. Here again is a very similar shot, just kind of slight hyzer release, get it to stand up and go straight for a long, long ways. And last but certainly not least is kind of a hyzer flip to flat rather than a hyzer release, and then it's going to skip back off the road here for you. So you can see plenty of distance, plenty of control with the Trespass. You don't have to throw it super hard. You don't have to have the biggest arm speed to still get really good distance with it. So we're going to head to the chat and see if anyone has questions. And if you are just joining us, we are going to be giving away this orange Lucid Trespass. To enter into that giveaway, all you have to do is like the stream, share the stream, and then leave your question in the chat for me to answer it. And even if you're watching after the fact, after the video is over, I will still go through and check those and enter you into that giveaway. So the first question we have here is Ted. Ted says, send me one and I'll tell you how good it is. Well, Ted, if you like the stream and share the stream, that'll count as your comment. So you're in the giveaway, but I can't guarantee that you'll win with that, so maybe. And if you don't win, again, coupon code Trespass10 to save yourself 10% off, running right now all the way through until Tuesday, August 14th at midnight Central Time. Joe says, I hit my first ace yesterday with my first DD disc. It was a Lucid Trespass. Dude, nice. 314, that's a good ace too. That's no shorty. Super nice. Lucid Trespass. Just like this one, you mean? Kevin says, how's the Trespass compared to the Sword? In terms of how they feel in the hand, they're very similar, actually. They feel super, super similar to me. We'll check out the rim here. It does have a little bit of a shoulder to it. Not super wide rim, but it does have that 12-speed rim there, so it is a distance driver. It is that wide speed, or excuse me, that wide rim, high-speed distance driver. But the Sword, I would say, is more understable for sure. As you saw in those clips, the Trespass would handle power. If I threw it on a hyzer, it would stand up and go straight, whereas the Sword would kind of stand up and turn over. So if you throw the Sword for straight shots, the Trespass is going to be good for those straight to overstable shots. And if you like to throw the Sword for hyzer flips, then I think the Trespass is going to be good for like a hyzer to straight shot. So they're similar in the hand, but the Trespass is definitely more overstable for sure. More high-speed stable with a touch more fade than the Sword. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Ryan. I saw somebody talking about this thing too. Yeah. Super cool. Like that, we were talking earlier, kind of a strawberry milkshake looking, I don't know. It looks super, super good. Triton's just says, sing, sing, sing. No, no, no. Keithy challenge? No. We already did one of those with Bobby a few weeks ago. you can head over to his page if you want to see that. We're not dancing over here. That's not what this is about. A little more stable to overstable, but it's a decent comparison. Yeah, like pretty much everyone has said. Mitchell, is it like a longer getaway? I think the getaway is a little bit more overstable. I think this would be kind of like a longer convict. I think it has a little bit more glide and a little bit less turn, but a similar hyzer flip to straight type disc. I think the getaway is a little bit more overstable. Trespass is definitely longer than a getaway, but I think the stability on the two is a little bit different. Alan says, how about a roller asking for a friend? No, you're not, Alan. Stop lying. You are Mr. Rollers. And actually, I have a Biofusion Trespass. Like I said, we're unfortunately sold out of those right now. But I have one that is very beat up where I can throw it flat and just hard and flat, and it will flip over and roll for me. So it makes a really good roller disc, especially if you're like me and you just don't have a great roller game. If you take like a lighter weight Fusion one, or if you beat up a Biofusion or a Prime Trespass or anything like that, it's going to be a really nice long distance roller for you. But if you like to throw more overstable things, if you like to force things over on rollers, then it's going to kind of cut and flip over on you a little quick. But if you're like me, where you like to just throw things kind of flat and hard and let it flip over on itself, I think a beat up Trespass is a really good roller disc. How do the air Trespass fly? I haven't thrown one in a while, but I do remember them being a little bit more understable, but they go far. They go really, really far. The air plastic doesn't make a huge difference in terms of stability, but it flies. It glides like crazy. It absolutely goes. I'm getting a yes from Noemi in the background here, so you know. If Noemi says it's good, you know it's good. Are they hard to find in the bushes? No, just in your neighbor's yard. Alan says, I liked and shared, I better win. I got connects. Okay. Sean says, I might need some more Trespasses. I think absolutely, Sean. You definitely need more Trespasses. Not sure what to ask, never threw one. Well, Joseph, you could try. If you don't win the giveaway for this one, then we do also have the coupon code Trespass10. If you weren't here earlier, the coupon codes normally run for about 24 hours, but this week we're actually gonna run it until Tuesday, August 14th at midnight Central Time. So if you're picking up a Trespass anytime in the next week, obviously I would suggest getting those orders in soon, but if you have to wait until the weekend or anything like that, the coupon code Trespass10 is going to save you 10% on the Lucid and the Fusion Trespasses, so you can go ahead and save yourself some dollars that way. And again, that is, that is midnight Central Time on Tuesday, August the 14th. Dan says, my Moonshine Trespass is money? Yes. I haven't thrown the Moonshine Trespass. I've thrown Moonshine Enforcers, and they were actually less overstable, so I'm not sure if the Moonshine Trespass is going to be the same thing, but I would definitely recommend trying one, because I know sometimes the Moonshine, like the Moonshine Emax, are more overstable, but the Moonshine Enforcers, for me, seem to be a little bit more understable. So I think this could be a really nice understable complement. If you, say we were talking about the sword earlier, if you just, for whatever reason, can't click with the sword, maybe a Moonshine Trespass or a Fusion Trespass, something like that, for a little bit more flip action out of it. Peppermint, yeah, these could also be peppermint, Ellen. I would 100% agree. These could be a peppermint, kind of a strawberry something or another. If you're more of a cherry type person, you can see that as well. Either way, they're super, super pretty. Were the Lucid X a limited run, or will they come into the main production? The Lucid X for everything is only going to be for team fundraiser discs. There's not going to be any Lucid X stock stamps or anything like that. So it was a limited run, but we do also have more coming. I don't have a release date or anything like that, but we do have more Lucid X discs coming, the Lucid X Trespass included. That's a great way to pick up an overstable Trespass or help support Eric McCabe, one of the nicest guys in disc golf. Can you compare the Captain flight and rim width? The rim width is very similar to me between the Captain and the Trespass. I don't notice much difference really there. The Captain might be a hair wider, but not super, super noticeable. It's not going to feel like two completely different discs in your hand. And then the flights are very different. I will go ahead and throw those clips up again so you can see how this is the Trespass in action. where the Captain is much more understable. On this one you can see the Trespass is kind of flipping over and then fades out at the end, where the Captain is going to flip over and keep holding that turn the whole way. It's not going to, like in this clip, how the Trespass hyzer flips and then fades out. The Captain is going to hold straighter longer and possibly and probably turn over. It's a much more understable disc than the Trespass, so rim width is pretty similar, but the flights are completely different. Let's see what other questions we have. Yeah, Ryan says limited. Ryan says Anthony has a sister. Oh, the questions we should ask. Yes, Anthony does have a sister. Yes, that is her. No, you don't have to encourage her behavior. You do not have to engage with her. Just recently bagged the Trespass. Love this disc. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, when I went out and was throwing this thing, it really surprised me. I didn't remember it being as good of a disc as it is. I didn't, when I last visited the Trespass, I didn't quite have the arm speed that I have now, and everyone was saying it's like a straight distance driver, and for me it just kept stabling out, and I just didn't click with it. But now that I've kind of gained some arm speed, gained a little bit of control, I can really hyzer flip this thing. I can get it to go straight for a long ways, and it's one that I'm definitely going to have to give a full revisit to. I'm going to have to check it out, see if it can't kick something like a beat up Enforcer or the Sheriff out of my bag, because this is a really good disc, flies super far, and it still has the stability to kind of cover up some of those form issues without being super overstable, like an Enforcer, like a brand new Enforcer or Defender would. Let's see what other questions we have here. Eric McCabe says Lucid X for the win. Yeah, I think he kind of liked those a little bit. We do also have, it's not Lucid X, but it's just a regular Lucid, and this is one that we're going to be giving away. So if you just entered the stream, if you just found it, the way to enter into this giveaway is to like this video, share the video, excuse me, and then leave your question in the chat below so I can answer that for you, and that will enter you into this giveaway. And I will, after the video, I will go through and reach out to the winner and let them know that I need their address, and they got a free disc coming their way, brand new, almost brand new. I didn't hit any trees with it. I hit lots of grass with it in throwing and testing, but I didn't hit any trees with it, so it's basically brand new. It's basically a brand new. Larry says, what does it compare to in Westside discs? For Westside, we did the World a few weeks back, and I think it's definitely not as overstable as a World. I don't think it's as overstable as like a Catapult, but it's not as understable as like a Sorcerer or a Queen or anything like that. So it's kind of like if you have like a beat up Catapult, I would say it's pretty similar to that. The rim feels a little bit different in the hand, but I would say it's pretty similar to like if you have a really beat up Catapult or a lightweight tournament Catapult or something like that. I would say that's pretty similar. How'd you know my neighbor has all my favorite discs, Roger? It's just in the name, man. It's all in the name. Lance, I did not say you won, but good try. Good try. Moonshine Emacs are beefy goodness. Yeah. I think the Moonshine Trespasses are a little bit more on the understable side, like I said earlier, but I haven't thrown one in a while to confirm. Cream Savers, there you go, Dan. Jimmy, would I say it's beginner friendly? Not really, just because it is such a high-speed disc. As you can see, it does have that high-speed, wide rim there, so it's going to have to be thrown hard. It's going to have to get up to speed, and beginning players just don't quite have the arm speed. If someone is coming from, like, say, an ultimate background or something like that, where they do have a good arm speed, or if they're a sidearm player who used to play baseball or something like that, I wouldn't say it's the worst option, but it would be a very niche market for beginners that should be throwing the Trespass. I think if you've been playing for a while and you're getting good distance with something like an Escape, then a Trespass is not a bad option to step up into the distance drivers with. I think it's kind of stable enough that it'll cover up some of your form issues, but it's not so overstable that you won't get distance with it. So if you are a little bit experienced and you're looking to branch up into the distance drivers, I think it's a good one. But for brand new disc golfers, I think it's a little bit too fast. Sorry if that was super loud. I think it's a little bit too fast and just not quite good for the beginner. What weight do they come in? 175. Anthony just unbroke my heart. Uh-oh. What did I say? What did I say to break your heart, Tyler? I'm sorry. I'm glad I fixed it. As far as weights, 175, and then the air plastic is all the way down into like 150. So anywhere in that range. The air plastic is usually like 150 to 160, and then everything else is usually like high 160s to 175s. So like I think I've seen 167 fusions. I've seen some lightweight fusions in the past. So he did. Holy cow! What did I say? Your shots look like they were backwards in those videos. They shouldn't be backwards. Does anybody know the numbers? Bear, the numbers are a speed 12, glide 5, turn of negative 0.5, and then a fade of 3. Here, let me grab this one so you can see those. You see that there? 12, 5, negative 0.5, and a 3 for a fade. So like I said in the beginning, most similar to, I would say, the Sheriff from us. A little bit slower, still very, very fast, but a little bit slower, and then a little bit more stable to overstable. Let's see if we have any more questions. Paige just joined, and immediately Alan, who used to always ask Paige, if no matter what disc she was talking about, he would always ask if it's a good roller disc, immediately says, "Hey Paige, did you hear that Anthony says it's a good roller?" I would love to play around with you, Alan, just to force you to throw 18 rollers off the tee every single time, no matter what the shot is, no matter what disc you're throwing. Always throwing rollers. Brian says, I throw max weight drivers. Yeah, the Trespass, the Air is the only one that's going to come in lightweight. Everything else is going to come up to the full 175 max weight. Jeff says, so the Trespass could take place of a Sheriff for some players? Yeah. It definitely could, and that's the battle that I'm going to be having in my personal bag, actually. Just because when I revisited it, it's such a good flying disc. It's so good. And I have a Sheriff in my bag that's starting to get a little bit beat up and starting to flip a little bit more than I want. So now is going to be either replace the Sheriff with another one or a Trespass. So that's the battle that I'm going to be going through. The struggle is real. First world problem. Ryan says between a sword and catapult for Westside, yeah, definitely. More stable than a sword, less stable than a catapult for sure. Let's see what other questions do we have here. Kyle says, how does it compare to popular Innova and Discraft molds? Would love to throw more DD. Well, obviously if you're talking about Innova distance drivers, you have to talk about the Destroyer. I think it is not as overstable as a Destroyer for sure. I would say it's more similar to something like a Turn, maybe, but more stable. It's kind of between a Destroyer and a Turn. I'm not quite sure what they have in that slot anymore. It's been a while since I've had any experience with their discs. And then Discraft, again, I'm not super sure. Maybe like a Nuke, but a little bit slower, I guess. Definitely not as overstable as a Force. So somewhere kind of in that range. It's a straight to slightly overstable 12-speed distance driver. So whatever it is that you're throwing from those companies, that's what it's going to be the most similar to. I don't have a ton of experience with their plastics anymore, unfortunately. Brian says definitely my favorite driver. It's definitely one that I'm going to have to be given some practice with. It's a really good disc. I can see why. I saw people used to be throwing it for like understable shots, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I beat up enforcers, it's fine. But it's definitely different. It's definitely a different shot. I watched Zach Melton play at the Music City Open. Yeah, Zach Melton is an awesome player and an awesome guy. I do believe he throws the Trespass as well. So if you just want to be like Zach Melton, you can enter into the giveaway for this Lucid Trespass by liking, sharing, and commenting on this video. Or if you do not win the giveaway, if you're not so lucky, then we do also have the coupon code Trespass10 right here. And that is going to be running from right now, it's active right now, all the way until Tuesday, August 14th at midnight Central Time is when that is going to no longer be active. So you still have a full 6 days to get your orders in and save that money on the Trespass. You can go ahead and do that way. So we are going to get some last minute questions, and we're going to go ahead and check those clips one more time if you did not catch them the first few times. Here you can see kind of a hyzer flip here off the tee, holding over to the right, and then just enough stability to come out at the end. That was one thing that really surprised me about this disc. I thought it was more understable than it is. I thought it would kind of hyzer flip and hold over. I thought it was more like a captain than a sheriff, where the sheriff will kind of flip and then come back, and the captain kind of flips and rides. I thought it was going to be more similar to that, but it's definitely got the stability. Yes, Ryan, now my dad is here. I got the whole family watching. So, any video? Yeah, there you go. You should be seeing those clips right now. I know the chat's a little bit behind, but you should be seeing those. Jeremiah says it's similar to a crank from Discraft. I've never really thrown one of those, I don't think. So I'll go ahead and trust you that it's similar to that. Ryan says, I want Zach Melton's hair. I think everybody does. Outside of maybe Robert McCall, I think everybody would be happy with Zach Melton's, that big old afro. Tim says the Trespass is my go-to driver. Tim, I could easily see this being my go-to driver as well for really anything other than like big hyzer shots, or if there's wind or anything like that. That's the only other time where I wouldn't want to throw this. If I need anything straight, if I need distance, if I need any big turnovers, I could see this working really, really well. And I think it's got the stability to handle like a power sidearm for me as well. If I just give it a little bit of hyzer and pop it out there, I think it'll stand up nice and then fade out. So this is one that I'm definitely going to have to check out more, give it a little bit more time in the bag, and see if it sticks, or see if I'm going to stay with the Sheriff that I've been throwing for so long and loving for so long. But this Trespass is a super, super good disc. Jeff says it's a Sheriff Junior. I wouldn't quite call it a Sheriff Junior. It's like a teenage Sheriff. If the Sheriff is like a full-grown adult, then I would say the Trespass is like a Sheriff in college, maybe. Like just graduated college, kind of looking for a job, trying to buy their first house or something like that. Not quite a fully grown Sheriff, but I think it's a little bit more stable. So maybe not quite a college Sheriff, but a younger Sheriff. A little bit shorter and a little bit more stability at the end. John says, I have the hand-eye air. Yeah, I saw somebody, yeah, Triton was asking about hand-eye Trespasses. Yes, there are. As far as hand-eye air Trespasses, I don't know if we have any of those right now, but there are hand-eye Trespasses for sure. Lots and lots of those. Any last-minute questions? Matt says, I find it easier to control than a Sheriff. I absolutely agree with that. I think that kind of is true with just disc golf in general. The faster the disc is, the less control you're going to have with it. And with the Sheriff being a 13 speed and the Trespass being a 12, you're going to get a little bit slower flight, but a little bit more control. And I think it's a little bit more stable to add to that control and give you some more consistency with it. But yes, I think they are very, very similar. So that seems to be all of the questions. Really quick, we'll run through the plastics again. This Lucid Trespass is the one that we're going to be giving away, so ignore that for a moment and pay attention to this Lucid Trespass, as well as we have the Wheat Shield stamp on the Lucid Trespass. And then one last time we have the coupon code Trespass10, and that's going to get you 10% off from right now all the way until Tuesday the 14th at midnight Central Time. That's going to save you 10% on the Lucid Trespasses, as well as the Fusion Trespasses. And we got to take a closer look at these things. We got to get up close and personal. Look at that. The burst on these came out so, so good. That white stamp looks super, super clean. I love that. And then here we've got just a black stamp, a little bit darker red burst on it as well. Super nice looking disc. As well as the My-Dye, kind of a yin-yang looking Trespass there. This is a Lucid with some dye action. There are also some American flag dyed My-Dye Trespasses. And last but most certainly not least is the Moonshine Trespass. This is a little bit of glow in the dark. It is summer, it is glow golf season, so if you're out there trying to play some nighttime golf, get some distance down those fairways, Moonshine Trespass is a really good option. Excuse me. And the last and final thing to talk about, once again, if you've just joined the stream, is the giveaway for this Lucid Trespass. All you have to do to enter into that is to like the video, share the video, and then leave a question down in the comments. And I will, if you get it in soon, I'll go ahead and answer that for you. And if you don't, then I'll just go ahead and check it after the video is over, and that's how you'll be entered into it. Last minute questions, Matthew, excuse me, says, is Lucid X coming back? Yeah, we do have a restock coming. The Lucid X discs. I don't know when that will be here, so I can't tell you a date, unfortunately. But we do have a restock coming, hopefully soon, because I would really like to try out the Lucid X Trespass. With how the Lucid flies, a little bit more stability would be a super, super good disc for me. I would love, love, love that. Video paused? Uh-oh. I'm not seeing anything on my end. Hopefully it's not paused. Somebody said no, it didn't. Nobody else is saying anything, so I think we're good. When am I getting a DD Mamba? The Witness is the closest, probably. I don't know of anything faster that's that understable. If you like beat up a Renegade, maybe I would say that's pretty close. But as far as fresh new discs, I don't know of anything that's that fast and overstable. So that is it for this week. Once again, coupon code Trespass10 on dynamicdiscs.com is live right now, all the way until Tuesday night, midnight Central Time. So you have a full week. Trespass10 to save yourself 10% off. You love the orange Jeff. All right. How about I give it to you then? Does that work? So Jeff Richardson, you'll be the winner this week. Go ahead and send the Dynamic Discs Facebook page a message. Tell them that you won the giveaway, and I will get that shipped out to you. Send your address, and I will get that over to you as soon as possible. Bob says, is the Trespass similar to a Wraith? Yeah, a little bit faster, a little bit more distance, I would say, but similar flights for sure. Congrats, Jeff. Yes. Round of applause for Jeff. Round of applause. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, Sean. We will see you guys next week. And again, get those orders in. If you're not Jeff, Trespass 10, go ahead and save yourself 10%. Play those clips one more time for you as we're leaving.